Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm guessing you're here because you just purchased the Minelab Manticore, or maybe you're thinking about buying one. Well, let me tell you, it is an incredible machine, and it has so many advanced features, you almost have to take a college course to learn how to use it. Now, I know there are a lot of other videos out there where guys go into a ton of depth about all the different features, but I'm here to show you just the basic setup and how to get started so you can get out in the field quickly and start detecting. In case you're wondering, the Manticore runs about $1,500. All right, let's get started by unboxing, and then I'll show you how to quickly put the machine together. Your first step is going to be attaching the coil to the shaft, and this is pretty simple. Just insert the bolt and twist. You'll then want to extend the shaft and then wrap the cable that connects the coil to the actual machine. Wrap it several times, and then it's just simply a plug in and twist. Next, insert the armrest and make sure it's attached. So when you get set up, you want to make sure everything is at the proper length. If not, you're going to find yourself, if it's too short, you're going to be bending over like this the whole time. And that's really hard on your back. So make sure to lengthen it. I like to be about maybe, I don't know, an inch, 2 inches right off the surface. Straight up. And you'll find that's just a lot easier on you. Since it doesn't come with a wall charger, I would recommend picking up a Belkin 2-amp charger. Then use the provided USB cables to attach the headphones and the machine to the wall charging unit. And now for the wait. It takes about 8 to 10 hours to fully charge the machine and headphones. While the machine is charging, the green light on the display will blink, and the red light on the headphones will be solid. When the machine is finished charging, the green light goes solid, and the red light on the headphones goes blue. You'll then want to apply one of the screen protectors to the display screen. Now, before you go out detecting for the first time, you're going to want to do a software update. Go into General Settings and toggle down until you find Software Info and click the right arrow. This will show what version you have on your machine. Then get on a computer and go to minelab.com and look for the downloaded software package. There's a few steps you'll need to follow on that website. When you're ready, attach the USB cable to the machine and the computer and see if your device is up to date. You'll want to do this for both the machine and the headphones. To pair the wireless headphones, press and hold the Wi-Fi button on the right-hand side of the machine until you see the icon start blinking. Then, press and hold the power button on the headphones until you see the lights start blinking red and blue. Now release, and after several seconds, the two should pair. If for some reason you don't want to go wireless, you can attach the provided cable from the machine to the headphones for a wired connection. Let's check out the main display screen so you know what you're looking at. Here in the upper left-hand corner is the search mode, followed by the frequency, and then the sensitivity level. Over here on the right is the depth indicator. The more bars, the deeper the target's going to be. Down here at the bottom are your main menu buttons. If you click the up arrow, it'll take you into your main settings, and then you can toggle through these. Your general settings, if you push the right function button, you can change some of these as far as like the lighting. There's your software info. You can reset to a factory default. You can change the handle so it vibrates when you hit a target, and then you can change the language. All right, the first thing you want to do before you start detecting is a noise cancel. And the reason for this is out in the field you can get electromagnetic interference. This can be caused by power lines or even people detecting nearby. So go to your main menu settings, press select, and toggle up to noise cancel. Next, you want to hold your detector out in front of you about waist high, and then press and hold the right function button. This will start the noise cancel. What I'm looking for is a number that stays the same. It looks like it's going to be 2. So now I'm set. All right, the next thing you may need to do is a ground balance. And the reason for this is depending on what type of soil you're in, it may be mineralized. And if so, you need to cancel that out so it doesn't interfere with the target you're trying to detect. So go to the ground balance feature, press the right function button, hold the button down, and then pump the head of the detector off the ground several times till you get a solid reading. Another thing you're going to want to do is adjust the sensitivity level. So here, using the right and left arrows, you can increase or decrease that sensitivity. I typically detect somewhere around usually 22 to 24. If you get much higher than that, you tend to get some EMI, and you'll start hearing this kind of chatter on your detector. So you're going to need to lower that down. So I'm probably safe in that range right there. So there are 10 different search modes on the Manticore. If you go into your main menu settings, toggle up, you'll get to search mode. The first one is all terrain. That's typically the one I use, and I would recommend if you're just starting out just to stay in the all terrain general mode. There are 4 others under all terrain. There's in beach mode, so if you're detecting on a beach, there's 4 different settings here. And then finally there's a gold-filled general search mode. All right, so let's test some different coins and some other items to see what they sound and look like on the Manticore. 3 different types of pennies, a zinc penny, a copper penny, and an Indian head penny. Let's start with the zinc penny. Those were minted after about 1982. You can see a nice steady 63, 64. Now I'm going to jump over to the copper penny, which is pre-1982. You see a much higher tone. And notice it's centered there in the 2D map far to the right. And now I'm going to jump down to the Indian head penny. And that's a solid 66, 67, right in that range. So kind of interesting, the range with pennies. 63, 66, and 76. So 3 different types of nickels. Regular nickel, 1943 war nickel, which has silver content, and an 1883 B nickel. Okay, let's see what the nickels ring up. I've got a regular Jefferson. You can see that's a solid 27. Notice on the 2D map, centered to the left. Now I'm going to come over to this war nickel from 1943. It has silver content in it. It's about 30%. And that's a solid 37. And again, a little bit more centered, but to the left on the 2D map. And now an 1883 V nickel. That is a solid 27. So not a lot of difference between older nickels and newer nickels. But you will see a difference on those war nickels, which have the silver content. A clad dime versus a 1918 silver mercury dime. A regular Roosevelt dime. Far to the right, solid 77. Now for a 1918 mercury dime. So slight difference there. You'll see that mercury 78 to 80. Just a little bit lower on the regular dimes. So I can tell you it's kind of hard to distinguish when you're out in the field the difference between those two, but there is a slight difference. All right, let's check out a regular quarter versus a silver Washington quarter. High tone, far to the right, like about 89. Now we'll jump to that silver. Just a little bit higher, a little cleaner tone there. 91. And again, not a big difference, but enough that you may be able to distinguish between a regular quarter and a silver quarter. Here we have a regular $1 coin, an 1853 $1 gold coin, and a 1923 silver piece dollar. Let's go a dollar coin. 89. So not a lot of difference between that and the quarter. I'm going to jump over to the 1853 $1 gold coin. Look at that thing. 22, 23, super low tone, far to the left on the indicator map. And then how about a silver dollar? Boy, look at that thing ring up. High 90, 96, 97, far, far to the right on the map. You get that signal, you're going to be excited. All right, let's test some odds and ends as well. How about a regular nail, an aluminum pull tab, and a gold wedding band? Okay, let's check out what a nail is going to show. You're actually not going to hear it because it discriminates out that tone. But if you notice on the 2D map, there on the top in the Ferris range is that nail. So you'll see it, but you're not going to hear it. Now let's go to a pull tab. Low 30s tone. Again, because it's aluminum, it's ringing up as far as non-ferrous. And then I've got a gold ring. And the 27. All right, the last thing I want to show you is the pinpointer feature. So if you're out detecting and you come across something and you really want to drill down on where that is in the ground, go ahead and press the down arrow and that'll take you into the pinpointer mode. And as you wave your coil across, when you get right over top of that object, you'll get that solid tone and you'll see that dial turn solid red. That way you know exactly where you need to dig. So another feature I want to point out on the main display is that horseshoe icon there on the left. Right now it is deselected, and what it does is it discriminates out iron. So I have that old rusty nail there on the ground, and you'll see with that off, it does not register a number or a tone. You can still see it on the 2D map there at the top, but you're not going to hear it or see it. If I select the horseshoe and turn it on, it will now register that iron tone and number, so you'll be able to see it and hear it. All right, those are the basic settings of the Manticore. You should know enough to be able to get out and start detecting. Of course, there are a lot of advanced settings. I'm not going to go into those in this video. I also showed you the different types of signals associated with coins and various objects. And so you should be able to have some success your first time out. I'm actually going to take my detector now and go hit a few spots that I've hit over the years just to see what I can find and if I've missed things with my other detectors. So I'm here at an 1800s home site. I'm going to try out the Manticore for the first time. I detected this property with the Equinox 800 and had pretty good success, but didn't find any silver. So we're going to give the Manticore a swing. There we go. I like that. Just popped a barber dime. You saw the signal, it was a little choppy, but kind of that high range. So how awesome is that? Barber dime, first time out with the Manticore. A long day in the wind, but it's a pretty decent tone right there. choppy though. Take a lot of bottle caps and junk like that, but that was definitely worth digging though. Right in there. Oh, no, stinking washer. Maybe it's a Chinese coin. I found a few of those. What the heck? It looks like a washer, but it has... Hold on a second. I cannot believe it. It is... I think it's an old dime. It's definitely, you see at the bottom it says, looks like 10 cents. Man. Oh geez. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and you find a lot of great things with the Manticore. It really is an amazing machine. And please check out my other videos at Metal Detecting Utah in Search of Mormon Gold.